Okay, Minister Tex, good morning.
And
I sent a message, a general message out. Minister Merle is having some issues.
oh
Are you
no.
hearing me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Good. Okay. Loud and clear. So, good morning to you.
Morning.
Love your polka dots.
Oh, thank you.
Well, I made my polka dots in my jewelry for you to compliment.
Oh, nice. Loving it.
Yes, yes, yes. So I guess we heard each other while we were in the closets.
Yes, the
Well,
closet.
today is one of those wonderful days,
Mm.
after the beautiful resurrection memorial. I'm trying to get a hook here. After that beautiful
I like your
resurrection
shirt.
memorial. Pardon me?
I like your top. Is that a top or a dress?
It's just a t-shirt.
Oh, you know you got a model for me. Oh, that look good.
Okay, I will do that. Yeah.
Yes.
So here am I.
Oh, wow. Oh, we got into the groove of things. Yes.
Oh, this is so funny. We're having a good time. We're having a great time. We know how to we know how to dress up and dress down everything and
Oh,
anything.
yeah.
So we had such a beautiful resurrection memorial, and we enjoyed Easter Monday. And the people that are in the warm places, I'm sure they all went to the beaches while we sit here wondering. And then we had snow. God, God brought us back to light. But His will always be done.
This is the first longest holiday that I ever spent. So I had Friday off, which was Easter Day.
Mhm.
And then I got up on Monday and then I had another holiday.
Ay, ay, ay.
So Sunday was a holiday. So
Yes,
Sunday was like everything was, I mean, stores was closed.
yes.
So I did not see this for such a long time that stores closed. Today's
Yeah,
Sunday,
it sounds
everybody's
strange, doesn't
closed.
it? Eh? It's like the
Yeah,
old days, the old
yeah.
days.
So I'm saying, wait a minute.
I was like,
Are we going back there? And if we're going back there, this is so awesome for me.
guess what? Our eyes are head on for eternity.
Amen.
So
Amen.
the Lord is returning things back to normal again. Oh, we give him thanks, and so we had
Amen.
a good holiday, so that was nice. Well, I had
Yes.
a quiet one. My daughter did a lot of cooking. Oh my God, I wouldn't tell you how much I ate, but I ate a whole fish. I've never had ate a whole fish before, and she did it so well. I had the whole thing.
Wow.
Minister Merle is having issues with her internet today. So she's going
Oh,
to
yeah.
try and get in. I'm not sure she could, and I don't know how to pull her in. Do you know how to pull her in with you?
Yes, she don't have to use the internet. I can send this for you to send this for her. Give me a
You
second.
mean the numbers?
Yeah, just the numbers. Or that you want to come in on the email. She can just tap the email and as soon as she tap on it, it brings her in.
I'm wondering. Okay, let me just see if she's going to do that. So this morning, as we are going on, we are going to examine, okay, and
Mm,
lift up. And please listen to the words carefully. We are going to examine, and
mm-hmm,
we are going to lift up humility.
mm-hmm.
And the question is, are you humble?
No, you're causing me to wonder a lot. Last
So
week,
while we think,
hear
I
me
want
last week.
everyone to think about it, whether you're online, just on Facebook, on YouTube, are you online with us? Please answer those questions. It is so important, not to me, not to Minister Tex, but to you personally. Because a lot of times to each to ourselves, we personally have to answer that question. we have to examine ourselves on humble. Am I humble? Am I really humble? What does it mean to be humble?
When I saw that question and I repeated, I said, God, help me to not to believe that this is the topic.
It is.
I checked about 10 things and I said, Father, in the name of Jesus, you said, if only my people would humble themselves, which I'm not.
If
That's,
only, and the thing about it is, being humble is a voluntary thing.
it is.
So it's nothing that, and God put it in the word. If you go to Colossians chapter 2, verses 18 and 23, it tells about voluntary humility, which is so important. When do we use humility? How do we use humility?
When the pendulum on our side.
Why should the questions, I'm throwing things all over the place for people, because some people will catch it and some won't.
Yeah.
Why do I have to be humble? Do you think I am humble? Do you think Minister Tex is humble? How do you view her in your eyes? How do you view me in your eyes? Are you viewing me on a position the way I'm seated, or as another human being? Humility is such a vast topic. When you look at the television or you look at someone in a wedding, are you humble? When you look at the bride, if you're not married, are you humble? What goes through your mind as a single person? I sat and I toyed with humility, and it just threw me in every single aspect. When someone has a new baby, are you humble if you don't have one? Or you can't have, you think you can't have children? And I know we all can, because Sarah did.
Oh, yeah.
Hannah did. When you think of the women in the Bible, so humility is such an amazing topic. How do you exercise humility on the job? How do you exercise humility when you're among your friends? As a pastor, a minister, as a gospel singer, do you exercise humility when you're performing, when you're preaching, when you're teaching? Do you exercise humility on the bus when you're driving, at the bus stop, at the stop sign? It's such a vast topic. So let us talk about humility.
Okay.
We need to be humble. And one of the things humility brings is riches. People don't realize that, but when you're humble, the Bible says, it brings us riches untold.
We're not on Facebook today.
Good morning, Genesis is not in today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's Doris?
Okay.
Let me send a message for Doris.
Yes. Yes, talking about humility. Humility is a grace, and we have to exercise it properly. We have to exercise it in love, piety, and understanding. When you think of Christ, think of how humble he was. Humble. And yet he was the King of Kings. For those who are out there, if you want to send me a note, say something about humility, it'll be nice to hear from you, to see how humility rules our life in so many ways, you know.
They cannot hear us.
Are you picking up with her?
Yeah, I just sent a message for Doris. Doris is not getting us neither.
Okay. Well, there's a lot of things happening with the internet. My whole WhatsApp went off completely. It just went, it was just circling, and it tells me that the what do you call it, the storage that came with our new 5G it's in Europe. So they are pulling every single thing that we do. Like I've seen things I've done in 2016. In 2006, I'm seeing stuff popping up from nowhere, you know, I'm like, okay, I forgot this person or this person, you know, it's been a while. It's been quite a while. So it's a storage, you know. Be humble with your information.
Yep.
Because many ears and eyes are seeing what we are saying and what we're doing. Be humble with your conversation. It's all recorded, you know, and people can pick it up, you know, if there's need of it. And I'll tell you the reason why I'm saying this to everybody. A few years back, I have a couple of old Facebook pages. One is called Image Connections. If you want to, you know, I know the curious would like to see it, and I think everybody should see it. What I do and what I don't do, you know, and what I could do. You know, we're human beings and we're capable of many things. But my culture has always been very important to me. The African continent has always been important to me. The way we are treated as Africans has been important to me. And something came to my mind, and Minister Merle and I talked about it. And that was the fact, we say we're Black. We're not Black. Black is a color. We are Africans of African descent. And I am going to go and ask the government to change it in all aspects, everywhere. When they're referring to us around the world, refer us as Afro-Caribbean, Afro-Haitian, Afro-American, Afro-Canadian, because we're not Black. Black is a color. And since they think that we don't have common sense to understand that they're calling us by a color, then we're going to change it. So guess what? Many of the things that have to fall into place will fall into place under our nation of Africa, of African, being an African. So that is going to have to change. And I brought it up at a meeting last night that I had a government meeting, and moving on to the anti-racism secretariat and other places that I know that they carry it, and straight up to the top of the roster to bring it back. That's why the Americans are called African Americans.
So do we want to be called African Canadians or Canadians African?
African Canadians. We're African first. What's a Chinese man? I'm from China, but I'm Chinese. I'm from Africa. I'm an African. You could be Afro-Asian, Afro-Caribbean, but you're African. That's a nation. We go by our nations. Nation of Africa, we came from the continent. Our ancestors are from the continent. And basically we have to address that. Because you know what? We're losing ground in who we are by taking lesser than. So let's go on to humility. And as we change different things. So are you humble?
For
Well, I'm humble, and I also can be very obstinate in the sense that if I'm in a place where, based on the population, not when I say population, I don't mean a whole population of people. I mean, if I'm in an organizational place, you know, whether it's work related or invitation related or whatever, you react differently. You know, your protocol is different, your ways are different, you carry yourself in a different way. But people might see you as being standoffish, you know, because guess what? Look at me, Mr. I'm dressed, you know, and I'm passing by. Hi, bye. People look at that and they think it's being standoffish. Or I'm walking past you and I say, and you say, oh, Pastor Daphne. And I say, oh, give me 5. And I go to somebody else. People find that standoffish, you know. We judge, you know. So when you go back to the person now, they said, you pass me straight and go to so-and-so, or you just pass me. And no, it's not that. It's not that. And my body language tells you that I'm just about to do something important. So we have to learn a lot of protocols about life. You know, why do we do what we do? Why do we express ourselves the way we express ourselves? There's different protocol for different situations. So let's get all of these things together today. Are we humble? Where does humility begin or belong? Minister Tex, jump in.
Okay, so Doris, get us, and now I'm about to share here, so everybody come on and be with us. There we go.
You can share your screen, right? Mm-hmm.
Oh no, not that one, not this one, because I want to see people come on. Just bear with me 1 more second.
Yes. So while we're bearing with her, think about it. How humble are you?
What is this?
And how do you extend your humility? How do you extend it? In what areas? You know, by what means? How can we express humility? Okay, let me give you a great scenario of humility. Pardon me?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yesterday, I experienced beautiful humility in a little clip that a young lady presented of herself. And I was so pleased with it. I was elated. I was excited. And I'm not saying this because I know the person and not because I'm on Gemfm. But yesterday, Genesis, I was there to congratulate her with her clip. I'm sure you saw it, Minister Tex.
Oh yeah, I shared it.
It was a very beautiful presentation. She presented as one of the large networks presenters, and she had all the aura, the air to go with it, the flow. You know, she had that presence, and I looked at it and I sent her back a message and said, you know, you're on the way. You're already there. You look the part. So therefore, you just gotta continue on that pathway. You know, it's a big congratulations to Genesis. She has received a scholarship, right?
Yes.
She has a media broadcasting scholarship. So when you have time in radio land and TV land and, you know, wherever you are, please don't forget to say congratulations to our young uprising broadcaster extraordinaire, Miss Genesis Callist.
So Addison is on and Doris is on, which is great. So people is
Oh,
coming.
all
Yeah.
right. Yeah. So I don't know if Minister Merle, if you're hearing us, how could she get in with you?
Um,
You have to call her, right?
do you want me to send an email for her?
Yeah. I'm wondering if she can accept an email. Hold on, before you send one, let me just give her a quick message.
Yeah, see if she can come on.
Okay. And Brother John, how are you? We're saying hello to you. I know you're watching. I hope you're having a good morning with us, enjoying our program with us. I'm just trying to see if Minister Mill can come in at some way, or some form. Okay, I'm just gonna ask
And
her.
on her data, it all depends on which company she's with.
Huh?
All depends on which company she's with.
I think she's with what's the
Freedom?
name of it? Freedom? Yes.
Oh yeah, so her data name is free. She can turn on her data and come on.
Okay. By the email link. Or direct. On the numbers on the okay, I'm just trying to see if I can, I'm going to send the numbers to her, so see if she can pop in on them. Okay. I think she got it. So let's talk about humility. Are we humble? What does humility tell you? How do you address? How do you address humility? How are we humble when we're at church? Yes, Christ makes us humble. And
Yes.
that's what he said.
So we were talking about humility.
Yes.
I think because of our environment or where we go, it shows how humble we are. And then when we reach home, I think that goes out the window. I just want to be honest because I'm sure a lot of people feel I'm the same way because when I go out, it's not that I'm shy. I am not a shy person, but when I go out, I have a little issue. I don't know how to socialize and with people. So I will either just stand there until somebody comes to say hi to me, or I'll just keep my head down. So I'm no contact and just saying, God, I just need to go home. I just need to go home. Because I'm an extrovert. My son is an extrovert, just like me, but he's a social butterfly.
Yes, yes, yes. I am a social butterfly. You know what happened? I was brought up because of the environment I was brought up in. My grandfather was a very public political person, and
Mm.
also in working, he was, he was an auditor. So there was always people around, and we were taught that as soon as someone comes towards you, you say hello.
Yeah,
So I learned to greet people from, I walk in the elevator and I say, good morning, how are you today? I may not be looking at you, but you can hear me telling you, and people would look at me and say, I'm good. You hear the shy voice coming back. And then I'll take a look to see who the person is. And I say, ah, you look lovely today. One of the things from way back I want to tell you about. My first job was with Bell Canada, and when I go to work and see the woman, I say, "Hey, girl, you look so beautiful today." And one day, one of the managers says to me, she says, I'm not used to people saying another woman saying I'm beautiful. A lot of women don't tell other women that they're beautiful. I
oh,
don't know that it's going to take something away from them, but it's important that we do that. Give me 1 second. I hear a knock on my door. Oh, I'll be right back.
okay.
Continue with that one.
All right. So the question asked today, are you humbled? My answer will be yes, I'm humble, but it all depends because I'm I'm an extrovert, so I'm an extrovert here. But when I go out, it's totally different. To
Sorry
speak
about that.
to speak to people, I'm very easy if somebody come to speak to me.
Yes.
Will allow me to be in front of every and any conversation. So I can hold any conversation. It doesn't matter what, I can hold it. And
Mm-hmm.
that's that I have. But I don't understand the reason yet still why I display this shyness.
Yes, yes,
If I
yes.
go out yeah, and when my son and somebody come, I'll get you see, I'll shy behind him. Why
Uh-huh.
I don't know. But I'm so talkative here and I can talk to you here, I can talk about storm. I go to church and I do socialize, but some people I may say no, but I do socialize. It's
Yeah.
just sometimes it's not the right
It's
time.
not comfortable. It's not your natural comfort zone.
Yeah.
Oh. It's important though, because when you work for large organizations, like for instance, when I used to be in conferences with different parts of the ministry. So you'd find one part of the ministry is in the West, the other part is in the East, and you meet some from all over the country. It's a lot of strange faces. And, one of the things that breaks the ice between you and create a relationship is by saying hi to someone that you really don't know. I say, hi, how are you? It's nice because when they bump into you again, they're going to say something to you. And what I find was that, but oh, you got a needle. Okay, go ahead. Close the door now. It's on a program. My grandson got in his needle. So he got a shot. He wants me to see he got a shot.
I love when they just come in and talk. I love kids, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They don't do
No, you know what? My grandkids are very open because I've taught them not to be introvert because you need to know what's happening with them. And the only way they can express themselves is by being open. Guys? Yeah. Oh, they're going to school. I think they're still going to go to school with their shots. So they had to wait in line. So that's what it is. So by being open, you're able to see people differently because as young as my grandson is, this youngest one, he's the youngest, he can tell you, he would give you a personality of a person. And children, 99% of the times, don't tell lies when they're very young, unless they hear it and they learn it, because people adopt many things.
Yeah.
So he would come and say, the driver of the bus, Nana, today, he wasn't, or she wasn't pleasant,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there's concern, and it's important that we open up so that people, we could address things, comfortably.
For a minute, and I did not hear you because the program went back and it stopped at
Oh,
99%. So you don't have to speak about the 99% so we can catch up here.
no, I said it's important that we open up because we want to be able to express ourselves, and we want people to understand who we are, because sometimes people make an opinion of you and it's not you.
Yeah.
And I don't understand that. How could you make an opinion by just looking at me, watching my body language? It's one of those things, And if you don't have body language, they said well, she don't care, she don't like. No, it's not that. It's sometimes you're observing, where you are, and close the door, Si. You're observing where you are, the people that you're around, and trying to figure things out, getting yourself in that comfort zone of wherever you are. So it's important that that we articulate, and this is a great platform. Being in media, it takes you in places and to places that you don't know, and you really didn't understand until you realized what it is all about, because you are actually being a representative to people, a representative of Gemfm and its founder and the values, and also it's all about what Gemfm is all about, their preamble. What does it say about Gemfm? When you read the preamble for Gemfm, it's, when you describe what your station or, your organization is, you have to represent them within that light and that framework, So when I looked at it and I thought, okay, let me read the preamble. It's nice. I want to have community dateline. And how am I going to, put it out there? So let me read the preamble. And then I realized it's in the world, not of the world. It's about the world.
Mm-hmm.
So when you put it in that light, you're able to get the spiritual and the carnal, and everything else involved by how you present. And these are the platforms you use for it. Like when I was on radio, I was with CIUT Radio for University of Toronto. It was a whole different ball game because, all the young girls come into school, the guys come into school, and we have programs, and I did a lot of interviews. So, we have to there's a time to be humble, and there's a certain, and humility is with us all the time, but we have to know what side of humility are we putting out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When I'm behind the pulpit, am I going to be moving all over the place? Or am I going to present in such a way that what I'm saying is going to be the focus? I don't want you to look at my clothes. I wanted to hear what I'm saying. Is it making sense? And then when you open your mouth, people look at you and say, wait a minute, what's she saying? Is that the person who's supposed to be saying that to me? People can read people's body language.
Oh, yes.
Very quickly. People can read what you're saying very quickly. It depends on how you deliver. It's your delivery. Because if you deliver in a judgmental way, they form an opinion of you right away. If you deliver in a humble way, they understand that you're teaching. If you deliver in a haughty way, it's just a matter of you saying, yeah, this is the way it is, and that's the way it's supposed to be. So just take it and swallow it, you know. When Jesus spoke, he was so good. He would look for a nice corner and he sit down there and everybody will find himself around him. And by the time they arrive to sit around him, they are all in the same one accord. There was it's so important.
So we reach at, he will sit in a corner.
Yeah, okay, sorry. Yeah, so he will sit on a stone or whatever place he put. And the people that are watching him going to this place have already looked at him, and his whole appearance has given them an opinion and the type of audience they're going to be. If you notice how humble they are as they're going, it's like the sheep. The shepherd is gone and the sheep are following. They're not fighting, it's not havoc, it's just peaceful. For instance, if you go to a ball game and someone notices something's wrong, or someone with a gun, and that person create a row, everybody else becomes part of that because everybody's fighting to get away, you know? So when we look at life, life has so many, it's like the river or even the ocean. If you watch in the ocean as the waves are coming in, some come higher, some come lower, some just come calm and just, you hear them as they rush to shore and you get a it's how the what you call it, the miracle of God works. There's so much humility in creation. It leaves you sort of, it leaves me mystified. I'm pretty mystified about creation. I like you, Minister Tex, I will drive down to the lake, sit on a rock, get my blanket and lay down on the grass and just look at the heavens.
Oh, yes.
You know, I would go into Edward Gardens, High Park, you know, enjoy the falling of the leaves. I remember in fall, I used to go in the heap of leaves and just.
Yes, yes.
Do you imagine how much you will get? Stuff like that, you know. I was brought up to enjoy nature, enjoy the beauty of God. My grandfather was an Anglican bishop, and you know, so that's part of my upbringing. I have on my mom's side and my father's side, they were all Roman Catholics, very strict in the chapelets and everything else, and I enjoy all of it. You know why? In order to find yourself, you go through all of these different areas and it defines you because you're able, you can make a choice. It's like accepting Jesus Christ. I have all the tools for me to make a choice.
Oh, yeah.
And I can weigh and balance them. I may look at this one in humility, and this one a little bit too much of something, you know what I mean? You balance them. So humility has so many different effects.
Because like I was saying, you may be humble, you are humble, But depends on where you are at the same time. It bring out different hues in you.
Aspects.
And then you wonder, okay, am I, because I could deal with people who just want to lay back and just chill. No,
I know.
uh, I'm always like the quiet one, but I'll be there and listen. Like my mom often says, "Oh no, it's all you want to do just sit in a corner just for the Bible." So I think I was misunderstood very, very, very early I'm in life, because I'm a talker, and then why you quiet? Is everything okay? And even here in my old age, you find people come and ask, "Are you okay? Is everything okay with you?" And I'm wondering,
Well,
I'm really taken aback to yeah, I'm taken back I'm to find out why people always come to me and ask me, "Are you okay? You sure everything is okay?" And
yeah.
I go like, "Yeah, everything is fine, but you're quiet." "I'm always but you're not a quiet person." Okay, so then if I'm sitting quiet, it doesn't mean that I'm a loud person. It doesn't mean that I'm a quiet person. I'm just being me for now.
Yeah,
And
that's
that's the
it.
problem when people tends to judge me on, but you're on the show and you talk a lot. How come you're quiet? And I'm yet still to I'm to figure out what is the reason.
Yeah. Why
But
you
I
humble? Because
yeah,
God made you humble. When you're in Christ, you're humble.
but not even humble. I'm yet to find out why do I have this too extreme personality? I'll be here, I'll talk and I'm laughing a lot, and I go outside. Though I laugh outside, I'm still so shy. I'm still so not timid, because I'm not afraid of anything, because I can talk. It's just that this,
That part of you.
yeah,
Because
this,
I guess you want to express yourself, but you hold back a little.
because I'm part of my mother. My mom is shy. My father is extreme extrovert. so so I said, unless I take probably more of my father here, and then when I go out, then I take all of my mother out.
Sometimes I think we tend to make a choice of which one we really want to be. My father was very busy. He traveled the world. One day I look at a photo and I said, who is that? This is your dad. He's in Gibraltar. What are you doing in Africa? On the rock of Gibraltar. I'm like, oh my gosh. you know, he was an engineer. So he was, when the ship go wherever, he does whatever, And I'm like, what's he doing there? And then not too long ago, because he's passed on since 2044. Yeah. I look back at the photo and I'm like, he was he was 21 and he's on the Rock of Gibraltar. And he didn't even give me the stories of Africa. He just said to me, "You must travel." that was that was his one word to me. You must travel. It's important that you travel. And I realized that as we travel, we acquire a lot of information.
Yeah,
We acquire a lot of understanding of things that we wouldn't understand, even if we read it in a book. But the experience itself is what gives you that acquisition.
yeah,
And you have that, you have those files to look back on.
yeah.
Like I'm working with two groups in Africa. One is in Nigeria, one is Ghana. And they will send me pictures. Now they send me the pictures of the door of the building of no return where our ancestors left.
Oh,
I've got different pictures. I'll have to share them. They sent me a whole lot. There's two places they showed me. There's a place in Nigeria as well that they had enslaved. So Jabola is sending me from Ghana, and Addison is sending me from Nigeria.
mm,
And when I look at the pictures, having had the history of enslavement, it brings a lot of sadness. I'll tell you why. The door of no return is a door. For instance, when they were leaving, where they were holding them, the holding places, they will make you cry, number one. But when they were leaving to go to these ships that they didn't realize they were taken, because they did not tell them they were taking them away from the country. So they will go through these doors, and as they go through the doors came lower and lower. So at the end of it, they have to bend down, and by the time they bend over, they push them through this door. So it was like I jumped when I saw it, and I was listening to the guy narrating the whole issue, and I'm like, oh no, this is why they call it the door of no return, because when they push them there, nobody, the person next in line does not know what's happening. Not even the guy behind you knows.
Oh God.
So when I think of that, I am traumatized today because I hear that. Can you imagine the trauma that they had when they were just thrown on a ship and they had a long journey by sea? So, having said that, we give sweet comfort to God that holds our tears and our sadness and our sorrows and our hearts, and mop up the terrible experience, the trauma that our ancestors really experienced. When I think of being a child growing up and I had the freedom, my ancestors, they did not have that freedom. And many of them were left young, So, and those who left with their small children, there's so much to bear, So when you look at humility, were the enslavers exercising any humility? No, they had no, they were heartless.
Yes, they were.
And it's strange that in 2022, they're still heartless. Simply because it was not, the truth has never been told to them. They were given an ideology of who we are. But in essence, if you visit Africa and you see the truth of the matter, when I look at the pictures I got from Africa and the videos, oh my God, Africa is much more beautiful than America and England and all of Europe together.
Yes. Yes.
It is so amazing, it makes you want to get your ticket and run quickly and find your niche right there. It is such a beautiful place. The rolling, and their places, they have the mountain tops have snow.
In Kenya, when you watch, when you do the Google of Kenya, such a beautiful city.
And the Victoria Falls in Kenya. It's the only saltwater falls in the world. But what happened in the early, because we were supposed to go, Minister Merle and I were at this church, Ibiza Pentecostal, and one of the women came and she wanted us to come and go with her. But at the time they had all those mosquitoes, and I forgot what was the disease the mosquitoes carried. And and you have to have so many different inoculations before you go, vaccines as they call them today. But I think Gemfm has been invited to go to Africa, because I was talking to Jarola yesterday and he says, Mama, we would like to have you all come over. There's Madison, they're on Sanj Bay. It's an island, and there's only 400 of them on this island. They do camping, and when you look at the vegetation, you look at the trees, and you see how old they are. I'm talking to you, and my paws are just going up and down. I cannot wait to go and visit. Seriously, I think it's important. To me, it is.
help me.
know, I
And I,
think we should go, as a matter of fact, on our viewing, there's two of them and one chief, Chief Anthony, he comes on and he watches our programs.
uh,
So we have viewership, and they're coming on gradually, and they will tell me, they tell me after the fact, I was on and I saw the other lady, they write your name, I was like, wow, they pay so much close attention, detail attention
yeah.
to us over here, and I was saying to Addison, I said, did you realize that the backhoe was created by Africans? And he says, what's a backhoe?
Mm.
So I said to him, and I said to the chief the same thing. I said, I think that when enslavement came around, they took the strong and left the weak behind so that they can actually, dominate their lives. Because if I'm telling you about the backhoe that was created in Africa, and you don't understand that, it tells me you must have taken the strong and left the weak behind so that you can control because if you have your leaders in those, and there's a lot of the different ethnic groups, and your leader is taken, whether it's by war and given to the Europeans or whatever, they lost humility, they've lost their sense of value, so when I says they became humble by not having someone to lead them and being forced into whatever. It's the same thing that was told to us in the West, Africans, they were pygmies and they cannibals. That was never so. So there's lots to understand with this. So anyway, let's go back to humility. So how humble are we as a people? How
Kenya is in the house today.
we are clothed in humility. In 1 Peter 5:5. In Acts chapter 20 and verse 29, it says, humility is a service. In Colossians 2:18 and 23 verses, it talks about it's voluntary to be humble. How do you view humility?
Luke chapter what?
Was it Luke I gave you? No, I gave you 1 Peter
5 and 5.
5:5. Proverbs 2:4. Sorry, Proverbs 22:4.
22 and 4.
Acts 20, verse 29. And Colossians 2.
Oh, 2.
Colossians 2:18 to 20, 18 and 22, 18 and 23. So how are we? Let me see. I want to go to Acts 20. And see how it falls, because it's important. We're on a natural but a biblical note right here. So Acts 20:29. Acts 20:29. Okay, all right, let me go to Acts 20:29. For I know this, that after my departing shall grievous wolves enter in among you, not sparing the flock. Because, there won't be any humility. He commend us to grace and to the word of his grace, which is to build us up and to give us an inheritance among all them which are sanctified. So this sanctification in what we're doing. You know, he says service. Hold on, let me just make sure that I wrote down the right one there. I want to get the exact um, understanding of what I'm right, what I wrote down here. Uh, hold on. It's important. We need to know. So, are we humble? We have to examine ourselves and see how humble we are. You know. And if you think of being humble, let me see. Let me just go back to this one. I want to go. 1 Peter 5:6 is the one that says, humble ourselves under God. So we must humble ourselves under God. It's important. And the Bible also said in Psalms 9:12, forget not the humble. Yep. So also in Psalms 10:12. And he also says in Psalm 69, the humble shall see God's work and be glad. How humble are we when we get up in the morning and we realize that it rained last night and we got sunshine in the morning? You know, humility is not just the exercise with one another, but it's in looking at the things that God has created and being humble and thankful and grateful and give thanks for everything. Somebody sent something. It says someone sent. Oh, something else. Okay. So let us be humble. Let us understand who God is, how he works, how he cares. And it's a service to him to be humble. So as we continue our day-to-day, our lives, I'm so sorry, Minister Merle could not give us her input today on humility, but what can I say?
I'm trying to look.
We'll touch on it because guess what? We have to be humble every day.
We have to. We have to. And we also have to be more alert of where we are in our humility, because sometimes we could be somewhere else doing, and it's an arrogant environment, and you see people just change and you wonder, okay, so why did she change? That's not her. But we fit, I believe we fit every mold, because, and the reason why I say that is because of who we are and the role that we play in life. Like Paul was saying, be all things to all people.
All people, exactly.
That's because he was I'm in Rome, and when he got to Rome, he realized Rome then, or the city then, was perverted. Was like Los Angeles, Las Vegas.
Oh yes.
Couldn't fit in because they look at him like, "What are you wearing?" So he become all people.
Well, who are you?
He had to kind of dress it up a notch. He had to go up a notch. Then in his evangelism and in his when he was teaching them about Christianity, the frustration came on, and he said, "Well, who be with you, you Galileans?" Because they was not understanding what he was there for. So like you see now a different attribute come out of him, and people probably like back. Okay, so you're preaching God and now he's cursing us. So we just got to be who we are to all people, but always remain alert. And that goes, and for me, be alert in every circumstances, because that will cause me to be humble.
Yeah. And you can chastise. You can chastise with humility.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
when you look at the churches, the 7 churches, they were all chastised in different forms and different magnitudes
Mhm.
for what they did. Even though when Paul was saying to them, you have done this, and you know, my brother, because you sat with Daphne and you sat with Minister Merle, and then you did not tell them what it meant to be humble. You understand? You did not show them humility. You just join with them where your position in is to change them by your actions, by your what your contribution is, you know, by your attributes, your behavior, the way you talk, you know. So humility is such a broad statement, you know. It encompasses a lot of human values, a lot of the rights of the human. How do you exercise my rights, and tell me about my rights in a difficult situation. You know, you like if I have to go to Putin right now and say something, oh Daphne, you got to go and meet Mr. Putin. What are you going to say to him?
Mhm.
Well, I will say, Father, first, bless me and protect me and give me open, you know what the Bible says, open your mouth and I shall fill it. And give me the right words to say to him. Remind him in a gentle way that the land belongs to the Lord. He gave it to each and every one of us, you know. What and ask him, you know, without having any offense to you, why do you think that the Ukraine belongs to you? Why do you think human life has value here, but not over there? You know, and when you start, and I think, you know, when you become a negotiator, you have to be your planning, the strategy of your planning has to be so strategic, it has to be so humble. The words must not fall where it's going to cause my blood to boil. You know, and you're talking and the next person says, I'm just, I can't wait to get hold of him or her, you know what I mean? So it has to be warm, it has to be divisive, it has to be one where he could open his eyes and say, wait a minute, let me take another look at the person I'm talking to and view what that person's trying to say. You know, even when a person is wrong, you try to show them, yes, you said you did so and so. I agree with you to a point, but there is a line we do not cross on each other's part ever, because my respect for you reaches at the line, the border lines. When you and I travel to the United States, do we just fly through the border? We gotta stop. We gotta tell them, oh, here's my ID. And he says, oh, where are you from? I'm from Canada. Oh, what part? Toronto. Oh, what is your purpose coming into our land, America? Well, I'm here to visit family, take a look at the scenery, maybe stop at some restaurants, enjoy the drive down, look at the mountains and everything that God has provided for me to see. You know? So yeah, it's how we address things. It's what's going to make the big difference in life, you know. Um, you can get someone coming with your antagonism to the to here, you know, way above your head, and you say, "Oh my God, I am just about ready to." And then the Spirit of God says, "Hey, wait a minute, girlfriend. You're supposed to be my child, and you have to exercise humility." So put on your protocols for the heavens and do the job according to my word, because I place my word above my name. So when you get into that, you're really You become that negotiator, that strategist that you say, ah, yes, I got it. I'm about to hammer him now. So, and I would say, so what if I take you across the border to my place? What would you do? What would your plans be? You know, you bring the subject together so you both have a common good. We just have to know how to deal with the human spirit, because you don't know what's going on in his mind.
That's right.
Remember, in that whole war, he's talking about something that happened when he was just a young private, when they had their first destruction of Russia. And he's kept that. So he's carrying mental baggage from, a long time. But who's addressed that in the conversation and say, you know what? I know it's a long time you're carrying this baggage. What do you think? Why do you think that at this time in the 21st century that it has to be addressed? And let me just put the biblical thing in there. This is what God's plan is. It's not man's plan. So he is there just like Judas was, to do what he has to do, because guess what? We're at the door of the closing of extend that humility to all of the Ukraine, to all of America, all the countries that are fighting right now. And we just have to do what we do best. Pray. When we're in one accord as a body of Christ, it will work. So let me put it out there. Join the accord and be in one accord.
That's right.
Yeah. So Minister Tex, you're going to get the last words.
So be the leader to lead and to bring change.
Yes. That's what we are, leaders. Yes. Bringing change on a dying world. That's going to open the window of the best we've ever yet to see on the face of the earth. And heaven is on earth. For those of us who are thinking that we are going to be flying up in the sky and living up in the sky, heaven is on earth. Yeah, it's in the word.
What did the rapture says?
Pardon me?
The word of God says that I'm going, and where I am, you will be also.
Yes, and he said he's coming back. I'll be back.
And he says that
where I am, you will. Yes, that's it.
The dead in Christ shall rise.
Yes.
First, that are caught up will be changed to mortal in
a twinkle of an eye.
Where? In the air.
Yeah. Well, because the ones who are being caught up in the air is so that the rapture could take place. The rapture takes place. We're caught up in the air. The dead in Christ comes up. And then he comes, because remember, when he comes down on this earth, none of the unbelievers are going to be around. Nobody that does not accept Christ is going to see him to say, it's
but
we.
Destruction, then we come back, the to reign.
And then you come back down. It won't be long.
Amen.
It won't be long. It's in a twinkling of an eye. He told us about it.
Lord, hallelujah.
I look forward to that place.
Yes.
Yeah. And don't forget, remember the Gentiles, we who are in this age have a lot of work to do in the kingdom. We have a lot of assignments. So start living right. Start putting together our humility in all of the fantastic places that we are, and give God our best.
Amen.
Performances.
Amen.
Yes. So Minister Stex, you are going to send us off into bye-bye land.
So we'll be back here at 2:30 today. I don't know what the topic is. I gotta go pray about it and see what the Lord wants me to talk about. And then we'll come back at 2:30.
Yes, nice to have been with you all. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye-bye. All right.
Bye, Minister Tex.
Bye, sweetheart. Bye. My sweet
hugs. Hope you receive it.
All right.